Okay, boys and girls. So I'm going to go over the quiz that we took on Friday. And what I want to go over is we have the ratio quiz. And so this is the first problem. It says color socks to number of socks. So we have colored socks to number of socks here. And then it says we have white socks, black socks, blue socks, brown socks. We have 8 white socks, 6 black socks, 4 blue socks, and 5 brown socks. And so the question 1 was, what is the ratio of white socks to brown socks? So if we have white socks, so it's white to brown. And so the ratio would be white would go first. White would go first to brown. And brown, there's 5. Question 2 says, what is the blue socks to non-blue? And the key word is non-blue. So non-blue. So first of all, blue socks, how many blue socks do we have? We have 4. How many non-blue? Non means not blue. So we have 8 that are not blue, 6 that are not blue, and 5 that are not blue. So we would add up 8 plus 6 plus 5, and this would equal 19. So it would be 4 to 19. Okay, number 3. What is the ratio of black socks to all the socks? So black socks to all the socks. What is the ratio of black socks to all the socks? Well, how many black socks do we have? We have 6 of them. And to all the socks, how many socks in total do we have? So we would have 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5. And so we have 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it would be 6 to 23. And then question 4 is find 2 ratios equivalent to exercise 1. So exercise 1, or problem 1, 2 ratios that are equivalent to 8 to 5. 8 over 5. And the easiest way to find equivalent ratios would be to just multiply this by 2 and this by 2, and 8 times 2 is 16, 5 times 2 is 10. So here's one equivalent ratio, and the next one would be same thing, 8 to 5, and you can pick any number that you want to multiply by as long as it's the same one. And let's say I want to do 6. So it's 48 and 30. So here's a second equivalent ratio. Okay, so here's question 5. Question 5 says, Earl runs, so here's the scenario, 75 meters in 30 seconds. So we know he goes 75 meters in 30 seconds. Meters, seconds. And so this is a ratio. How many meters, so we know how many meters does Earl run per second in 1 second? Okay, so we need to know now, how many does he run in 1 second? And so we worked on this last week a little bit. So how would I go from 30 to 1? I would either multiply or divide. And so since it's going from a larger number to a smaller number, I'm going to divide. So 30 divided by 30 would equal 1. So if I did 30 divided by 30, it would equal 1. Okay, and so whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on top. So 75 divided by 30 would give me my answer. And so maybe some of you got stuck on the division. And so this is what it would look like, 75 divided by 30. So 30 goes into 75 2 times, which is 60. Okay, 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then I'm going to put a decimal point, bring it up, add a 0, bring down the 0, and 30 goes into 150 5 times, and that's 150. So it would be 2.5 meters in 1 second. Okay, so question 6, it says the cost of 3 scarves, 3 of them, is $26.25. This is my ratio. So 3 scarves. Scarves are what you wear over your neck, and $26.25. okay, is equal to, and now it's asking what is the unit rate, unit price, cost for one scarf. So we just want to know for one. So for one, and we need to figure out that. And so what we're going to do is, how do we go, so now that we have our ratios set up, how do we go from 3 to 1? We're going to divide because it's going to get smaller. So 3 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Okay, here's what I did over here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Divided by 3. So it's 26.25 divided by 3. And I think some of us are getting stuck with the division part. So I'm going to divide here. 26.25, and I'm divided by 3. And so 3 goes into 2 0 times. 3 goes into 26 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. I have 2 left over. Bring up my decimal point. Bring down my 2. 3 goes into 22 7 times. It's 21. Left over 1. Bring down my 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And so my answer would be, and I ran out of room, would be 8.75. So it would cost 8.75, so this would go here, for one scarf. And so I would do 8.75 plus 8.75 plus 8.75. This is to check my work. And 15, 21, 22, carry the 2, bring down the decimal, 8, 16, or let's go, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 8, another 8 would be 26. And so this is to check my work. Okay, question 7. It says Danny charges $35 for 3 hours. Here's our ratio. And so what I do here is I create a table and I write Danny here, and I put Martin here. And Martin charges $24 for 2 hours. So we have Danny is 35 for 3 hours, and Martin is 24 for 2 hours. And so now I have ratios 35 over 3 and 24 over 2, and we want to find who has the better deal. So in order for us to find the better deal, we're going to find the unit rate. And so we need the unit rate. Cost for one. So we need the cost for one. And so the way I set it up is for 1, and the way I set it up here is for 1. 3 to get 3 to get to 1, I would divide by 3, and 35 to get to 1, I would divide by 3. And so 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and 35 divided by 3 equals, we don't know, and so I would set up 35 divided by 3, and 35 goes into 3, or 3 goes into 3 one time, 0, bring down the 5. This is another 1, 3, 2, add a 0, or add a decimal, bring down a 0, 6, which would be 18. And this is going to continue. It's going to continue. So it would be 11.6666, or about 11.6. So we're just going to put up here, we'll put 11.6. And we're going to put dollars. Now over here, we do the same thing. 24 over 2 is equal to blank over 1. How do I go from 2 to 1? I divide by 2. How do I go from 24? I divide by 2. Whatever I do here, I do here. So 24 divided by 2 would equal 12. So who actually has the better deal? Would you rather pay $11.66, or would you rather pay $12? Okay, question 8. There are 32 female performers in a dance recital. So we know there are 32 females. So we know 32 women, okay? The ratio of men to women is 3 to 8. So that means there's 3 men to 8 women. How many men are in the dance recital? So we want to know how many men. There's 2 ways we can solve this. We can solve this with a proportion. How do we go from 8 to 32? And at any time we can pull out our calculator and do 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Okay, so how do we go from 8 to 32? We would divide by 4. Or sorry, we would multiply by 4. We'd multiply because it's a smaller number to a bigger number. And so we could go multiply by 4. So that means there are 12 men in the show. Another way we could do it is a table. Men to women. And we would go 3 men to 8. 6 men to 16. So I multiplied by 2, and I multiplied by 2. Multiply by 3, 9 men. So I multiply by 3, and then multiply by 3, which would be 24. Multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. 32. So we know this is where we need to get, because our problem says we have 32, and so 3 times 4 is 12. So we did it with the table. There's 2 ways we can solve it. So now that you've checked your work, I want you to give yourself credit. I want you to mark down if you got it correct or incorrect, and then we're going to turn it back in, and we will have another day where we'll have this assessment again, and we'll see how you do on this assessment.